in their hand. They jumping up and down, they don't give a damn. Carrying on like them is some hooligan. We gon' mash up everything like we have insurance, and tear down everything like we have insurance.
Good night, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight at the media launch of Vincy Mass 2020. First, I'd like to it's hard for me to see up here. The lights are really bright, so I apologize if I miss anyone, but I did notice that the Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Honorable Sesmaki. I did see Mama Culture here, Miss Renee Batiste, and of course the members of the CDC board, members of the media. Thank you for being here tonight, and our specially invited guests, well-wishers, supporters, and as our chairman would say, friends of Vincy Mass. Thank you for joining us. We want to thank the Sunset Shores for affording us this gorgeous venue. We hope that from the moment you walked in, you felt a festive vibe, and that the ambiance here sets the mood for the unique flair that is our festival. The purpose of us being here tonight is to reveal to the media our major plans for Vincy Mass 2020 in the 10 hottest days of the Caribbean, June 26th to July 7th this year. We'll be unveiling some things tonight. You'll also get a feel for our style of marketing this year. And of course, at the end of it all, we anticipate that you'd feel energized and compelled to promote what has the potential to be the eighth wonder of the world, that which is ours, Vincy Mass. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the president of the SVG Calypsonians Association, Mr. Earl Cabba Bennett.
Thank you for the introduction. Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Honorable Cecil Mackey, Speaker of the OCS House of Assembly, Dame Renee Batiste, and also known as Mama Culture, Chairman of the CDC, Mr. Ricardo Adams, and other members of the board, other components, members of the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight, I stand here with mixed feelings, and you wonder why. It is Charles Dickens, in his book, Tales of Two Cities, who said it was the worst of times, it was the best of times. Why do I say this? I say this because over the last few days, and indeed the last year, we have lost some notable personalities in Calypso and in culture. I speak of Black Messenger, a Calypsonian, Galen Windsor, an administrator and a potential judge, and Daniel Hall, a judge. So at this juncture, I indulge you, I crave your indulgence. Let us stand for a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you very much. The St. Vincent and Grenadines Calypsonian Association, official and president, we are indeed honored to be here tonight to address you and to reveal our plans for 2020, better known as Perfect Vision. This year, our emphasis will be on our youth. The reason why is because we must have succession planning and we must build for the future. Not only will we lay emphasis on the youth, but we lay emphasis on development. Too many times, we look at the artists and look at songs without developing them. So this year, we intend to have a series of workshops to develop these youngsters. We'll have persons mentoring them so that they will succeed in the future to come. What do we have else in store? We have the 10th season, but this year, we also have one of the tents that will be going out in the communities to spread calypso. Calypso, and let me pause here. Because when I say calypso, I don't want folks to run with the idea that I mean calypso in terms of what Patches, Chanel, and others sing. Calypso is all embracing. For the purpose of tonight and for the continuation, I will refer to that traditional calypso as Kaiso, the other as soca, and the raga soca. They are all calypso. What is the major difference? We all know that calypso or Kaiso is struggling, and we need the help of all and sundry. So I'm inviting you to do what you can do to ensure that Kaiso survives. We know raga soca and power soca, some people say, we call it soca. We're not Trinidad, we are St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where the hottest carnival in the Caribbean reside. So I want to say to you, we are looking to go up and up and up with our soca. You cannot second guess the fact that carnival starts with the soca beat. At this point, I want to salute and applaud Skinny Fabulous with his Up and Up and his other songs, Problem Child, who tore Trinidad apart with Nasty Up, and all the other artists who did their part to ensure that Vincy Mars came to the fore very early. The 10th season begins on the 26th of May with the Graduates Calypso tent. The next day on the 27th, we have Upstage Experience, and on the Thursday, 20th of May, we have On Tour. It goes until the 12th when we'll have the end of the preliminaries. But let me pause here to say to you that the Dynamite Calypso tent, and I'm proud to say this, we are the only nation with a Calypso tent in the diaspora. So let's put our hands together for the diaspora tent, Dynamite, for keeping the flames alive. They will have their preliminaries on the 5th of June. And I'm beckoning and I'm appealing to all of you in the diaspora, especially in New York, to please support them. They need your support. I speak of raga soca, and I want to take this opportunity to commend a young artist, a young promoter by the name of Chiwali Johnson, better known as the Rummies. Come the 28th of this month, we are all going to come back right here to look at and witness and experience what is known as Soca Chronicles, which will speak about our creation. And I want you to take this. I want you to hold on and embrace this. Our genre or subgenre is raga soca, not groovy soca. And come the 28th, you will have a learning experience as Chiwali and his friends unfold before you Soca Chronicles. So I take this opportunity to invite you to that. Without the sponsors, we are nothing. And I wish to thank Musty Company, and Mr. Steve Joachim, Mr. Jimmy Ford is here and his company, Flo, the CDC, all the other entities, the St. Vincent Grenadines Teachers Credit Union, who have contributed one way or the other to ensure that Calypso stays alive. At this juncture, as I speak, in the next 15 minutes or so, on Sweet Radio and on WFM, there will be a program called Calypso College. I want to thank Stephen Huggins for keeping Calypso alive. There are some persons here who we call the collegians, of which Mama Culture is one, Inol is another one, and we have many others. They are there every night ensuring to do their bit to keep Calypso alive. It will be remiss of me if I want to mention Nice Radio, Star Radio, and NBC Radio, who also play Calypso all year round. I want to invite the other stations. Yes, I understand you're an urban station. Yes, I understand your appeal to the youth, but you also have a responsibility to ensure that our culture stays alive. So there ought not to be any legislation. You should see it fit in order to ensure that Calypso stays alive. You find some place in your programming to play Calypso all year round. I cannot dictate to you, and as a shareholder, but as the president of the Calypso Association, I'm appealing to you. give Calypso a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, it is well known, it's a documented fact, that Vincy Mass is the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Not only it is the hottest, it is the safest, and it is the most affordable. So wherever you're hearing my voice, outside of St. Grenadines, come one, come all, we'll invite you to the hottest, the safest, and the most affordable carnival in the Caribbean. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
The Carnival Bands Incorporated, CBI, is now officially registered with 15 mass bands. We are committed to continue in the development of Vincy Mass product, and in particular, its masquerade component. We recognize that our obligation must be directed towards the preservation of the Caribbean authentic masquerade art form. Indeed, the membership of our costume bands are constantly reminded, both at home and abroad, that St. Vincent and the Grenadines remain the last bastion of genuine creative mass in the region. The CBI understands that there are currently 3 streams comprising the masquerade component. They are 1, traditional, 2, conventional creative, and premier party. All 3 streams provide something to watch, something to experience, and something to sell. While we know that change is constant, we in the Carnival Bands are the change. That is why we are encouraged to maintain those standards for which we have become famous in our Caribbean region and throughout the hemisphere. We are presently working towards mass in the schools throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We started 2 years ago with a design competition. It wasn't an easy task, but we are still at it and believe that since the doors were open to Carnival, to Calypso, soca, and pan, we as mass will be able to see the introduction of school competition in mass. We are currently awaiting information on those secondary schools who do art as subject. This year, we will be doing a tour throughout the country with a live music band, the Connectic Band, and also a t-shirt band on the road come Carnival Monday. We are also having this year the reintroduction of our Ignite show, which will showcase all mass bands in one setting at the cruise ship terminal with live band music, DJs, soca artists on the 6th of June 2020. We hope to see each and everyone at this show. This year, we will be launching our new logo, which was done by our very own Jalene Niles of Blondie Bird and Friends. This year, 2020, one of our mass band leaders will mark 50 years of continued involvement in the masquerade art form. The CBI takes this lead in congratulating Junior Melbourne Constance in achieving this milestone. History will be told during this year's Mardi Gras. Vincy Mass premiere show, Mardi Gras, will witness the parade of 15 costume bands in competition for the premier prize of Band of the Year, including defending 2019 Band of the Year winner, Lynx Mass. So, Victoria Park stage will unfold with the show produced by Adrenaline Carnival, as Butex International go to the safari with Jungle Fever. Birds of a Feather will fet together with Blondie Bird and Friends, while High Voltage takes the voyage to Westward Ho, destination West Indies. Leaving imagination to tell it like it is, and Leeward International remind us that Africa is we. Vincy Expo is Lynx Mass Showcase in defense of the Band of the Year title. And Melbourne artisans pay homage to band leader Junior Constance with their presentation To Melbourne with Love. Why shall I wonder? Mirage Production answered this question for you with their interpretation of Wanderlust. And Nelson Block will stun you with Rags, Flags, and Standards. Oxygen is parading the good life. And SVG players express Players Love 2020. The marketplace is Tribe's favorite playground this year, as Extreme Fanatics pays tribute to fireman Hooper. Finally, one of the highlights of Mardi Gras 2020 will be Verlene Ralphs and the Professional, Let There Be Light. Feel free to visit any of the 15 mass bands before you and register to play mass and have a Vinci experience. Mass in all its glory, splendor, going up, 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 with the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. On a sad note, the members of the Carnival and Bands Incorporated extend our condolence to the family of the late Gayleen Windsor, who passed away suddenly. She was a mass judge for 3 years. She will be missed by the judges and massmen this year for her contribution as a judge. May she rest in peace. Our condolences also go to the family of the late Brenton Brown, a former executive secretary of CDC, and Mr. Daniel Hall, a Calypso judge. May we do have a 2020 fun time for Vinci Mass. I thank you.
Protocol already established. Good night. After our biannual election last year, the newly elected executive sat down and brainstormed. We got tired of hearing persons complaining about their not hearing pan after Carnival. We challenged ourselves to change this before the next elections. Our first activity was a fun day where bands participated in activities. Our aim here was getting bands to work together as a team outside of the panyard. Next, we had one night dedicated to us at the 9 nights activities during the Christmas season. After that, recently, we had Night of Solos and Duets held right at this very location. This event gave persons who would not normally perform by themselves the opportunity to play. Persons attending this show saw over 15 persons. Our next event was our very first youth forum, which took place a little over 2 weeks ago. Our young panists got the opportunity to hear from our presenter and gave us ideas on where they want to see Pan in the future. We were super excited to work with them and look forward to hearing from them in the future. Next on our calendar of events is our press conference to be held on the 20th of April. On Saturday of that same week, April 25th, we'll be hosting a percussion and marketing workshop. Our Panorama launch will be held on the 31st of May. We'll go into more details about Panorama then. But for now, our theme for Junior Pan Fest is We Are One. We are encouraging the bands to work together to push this art form forward. Our senior Panorama theme is Rep Your Band. We encourage persons here, especially from the communities, to come out and support the bands, since most of these bands are from communities. I want to take this opportunity to thank our Junior Pan Fest sponsors, the St. Vincent Electricity Service, for their continuous support. The CDC, we can't thank you enough for what you have done and continue to do for us. The Pan Against Crime Committee, thank you for giving bands the startup for this art form. We look forward to working with you. And before I close, I would like to thank also all the persons who support Pan here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, whether monetary or just going to different events. I encourage businesses to sponsor bands financially, especially for Panorama. Panorama is a very, very expensive venture, and without financial aid, this event would not be possible. Thank you all in advance once again for supporting the art form.
At this time, we're introducing to you the man of the hour, our chairman, Mr. Ricardo Adams.
All the fans of soca,
Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Ses Maki, the Speaker of the OECS House of Assembly, Rene Batiste, members of the CDC board, staff, subcommittees, and components of CDC, sponsors, media, friends of Vincimas. Good evening. Good evening to all of you here, all of you in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to everyone following us across the globe. Welcome to the media launch for Vincimas 2020. I wish to recognize the passing of a number of persons who were mentioned before, but I will go through my not so little list, which includes Owen Ralph, Black Messenger, Daniel Hall, Gayleen Windsor, and Brendan Brown. They were all friends of Vincimas, and we will miss their contributions. Tonight, you have heard the sweet sound of pan. You have witnessed some of our mass presentations, heard some of the great plans from our components. You will shortly hear from our minister, and will have the night capped by the energy of our Vinci Soca. But permit me a few minutes to say a little bit on what we at the CDC have been doing this year. I am sure that you have heard of the marketing thrust of Vincimas during the TNT Carnival a few weeks ago. I will give you a brief report so that persons can have an idea of what was done during that period. We hit the ground on Thursday, February 13th, and that was the start of Vincimas in TNT. We had a television interview at 6:10 a.m. on TTT, the Now Morning Show, and 7 a.m. on CCN TV6, the morning edition, along with an interview for Loop TV, feature article, and a press release. We did a promotion at Skinny's Fam Jam, including the distribution of Vincimas branded cups and bandanas, and the collection of contact details for the creation of a database for marketing purposes. We managed to have 2 artists, including on that event, the 2019 Raga Soca Monarch winner Hans John and El Pank. A full story inclusive of photos from our promotions was published in the TNT Guardian and the TNT Express. On Thursday, February 20th, there were television interviews on TV6 and CNC3 Morning Brew. You will notice all of these interviews are morning interviews, so we were getting up at 5 o'clock to be able to get to do these, which kind of spoiled my carnival because then I couldn't fet as hard the night before. There was the execution of the Synergy Pundi Avenue promotion, which included interviews by CDC officials, the airing of music videos, promotional videos on different festivals in SVG, live performances from Skinny Fabulous, Luther, Hans John, Rodney Small, and Casper G. The UE students who were based in Trinidad, the Vinci UE students, were invited to this event, and they helped bring some of the energy to it and had a wonderful time. While this was going on, we also had a live television interview on T10 TV, on T10 After Dark. On Friday, just after we had packed up late the night from Synergy, we were back at Synergy TV, so we closed down Synergy on Thursday night and opened Synergy on Friday morning with Breaking Dawn and a performance again by Rondi Luther McIntosh. We also had distribution of bandanas and Vinci flags to a Vinci posse in support of Problem Child at the International Soca Monarch. And a video of this posse has already surpassed the reach of over 80,000 on our social media platform. In fact, for a while when you looked at the Soca Monarch in Trinidad and Tobago, you thought it was actually a Vinci Soca Monarch with the Vinci presence that was there. On Monday and Tuesday, we had the distribution of bandanas and cups to revelers as they crossed the Synergy stage, as well as interviews on the Synergy stage with Ezzy Roberts, Anthony Denny, and Rondi Luther McIntosh. And that was what we did in Trinidad. But stories about what was done there were carried in various publications in Trinidad, the wider Caribbean, and the diaspora. Some of these that carried the story included in South Florida, the South Florida Caribbean News, in St. Lucia, Da Majority, in North America, the UK and the Caribbean, Trini Jungle Juice, in the UK, Caribbean World Magazine, in Atlanta, Georgia, To Be Caribbean, in Cayman Islands, II News, in Montserrat, Cross Caribbean, MNI Alive, in Antigua, the Antigua Newsroom, in Toronto, mylime.ca, Cross Caribbean, the Caribbean Globe, Trinidad, the Newsday, and in Jamaica, Sleek Jamaica, who currently has 285,000 plus social media followers. So the word that Vincy Mas is the hottest carnival in the Caribbean is getting out there. And of course, as expected, we received significant coverage on our local radio stations and social media platforms during and after our visit to Trinidad. Where we are tonight, we are currently receiving coverage on local radio stations, and we are streaming on our social platforms and live on the Vincy Mas Facebook page. We are continuing to ride the Vincy Soca music wave this year with our theme, Up and Up and Up. We continue to be immensely proud of our soca artists, arrangers, producers, engineers, writers, and even now our videographers who continue to make a mark on the global carnival scene. And we continue to use this as a conduit to invite persons to Vincy Mas, not only to appreciate our musical talent, but our exciting pan music and our awesome masquerade and street energy. I would like to single out a few landmark achievements for congratulations this year. I want to start with Wetty Beats, who won the European and United Kingdom Soca Monarch. Hans John reached the semifinals of the TNT Soca Monarch. Problem Child reached the finals of the TNT Soca Monarch. And Skinny Fabulous came second in the TNT Road March competition with Conch Shell. I want you to give them all a round of applause for me, please. Tonight, as we said, we're going to do a little bit of launching, and so I'm going to speak to you about some of the things that we're going to do on rebranding this year. We are currently working on a Vincy Mas app because we recognize that people are going to be doing a lot more on their phones than they will be on their computers. So look out very shortly for the launch of the Vincy Mas app. If you will notice on our flags now, our flags that are here, and you will see them on the majority of our material, we have taken a decision that Vincy Mas is one word because it is one brand. It is not Mas that takes place in Vincy, it is Vincy Mas, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. So we have turned it into one word, and you will see that disappearing from our old branding material and appearing on our new branding material. Tonight, we are going to launch our logo. And of course, people will say, well, I've seen it in Trinidad, and I've seen it here, and I've seen it there. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the launch, the local launch of our Vincy Mas logo. And I would like to give credit to Mr. Okana Graham. The last time I saw him, he was sitting in the audience. Say, Okana, stand and take a bow. The design code name of the logo is the Burning Diamond V. The main idea behind the logo was to represent the hottest carnival in the Caribbean and St. Vincent and the Grenadines in a single object. Paying homage to our national flag, the V is achieved by starting with one of the flag's diamonds, and the flame of carnival burns hot to carve out the final shape. The Vincy Mas logo, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you who were wary of walking down the steps, we also managed to recreate the Vincy Mas logo in the middle of the pool across there. And I just want to give kudos to the team that worked really hard to ensure that we've got the flame burning. The next thing I want to speak about is our poster. And again, like the logo, we went out and we sought contributions from persons. And once again, it seems to be a favorite, This year, the poster was done by Mr. Stephen Vera, and I'm not sure if I saw Stephen in the house, but if he is, Stephen, please stand and be recognized. And the theme of this year's poster, as we mentioned, is up and up and up. And so you will see the rocket taking Vincy Mas up and up and up. And we have one of the more fantastic Queen of the Band costumes that's been done in a while, featured there, as well as some of our music ambassadors. We have introduced something this year on the poster, which I don't believe has been there before. But if you look on the bottom right-hand corner, we now have a QR code. We are taking Vincy Mas high-tech, so that persons, wherever they see the logo, can just basically walk up to it with your cell phones and your QR code reader and be taken, by snapping that, direct to the Vincy Mas website. So again, congratulations, Stephen Vera. And as I speak of the Vincy Mas website, I want to recognize Mr. Omar Wiley. He should be somewhere. Omar, wherever you are, step forward, put your hands up, take a bow. There he is over in the corner there, ladies and gentlemen. And our Vincy Mas website, we recognized, needed a little more vibrancy, a little more energy. And so we contracted Omar to do some work for us. And some features of the updated website that I would like to highlight. It's got a digital countdown clock to Vincy Mas. So right now we're 108 days, 3 hours and something to Vincy Mas. We've got a section that features the latest articles, so all our news articles, all our presentations. We've got a more vibrant color scheme, so it really pops at you now. We've got photos of the 2020 presentations, and we've already got from the 2 recently launched mass bands. Get us your photos. We'll get them up on the website, because we're here to ensure that people come and have a wonderful time playing mass with you guys. We've got contact details for each mass band and the name of their 2020 presentations. We've got updated information on the CDC board, the subcommittees and staff, tabs for CDC events, as well as promoters events. And that one we hope will be a revenue generating exercise, where promoters can promote their events, and we either do it through direct revenue transfer or reciprocal advertising. We've got hotel tabs. So currently we have 1 hotel listed there, but again, this will be a revenue generating tab for the CDC. So it is intended for this to become a one-stop shop. So when you're coming to Vincy Mas, you can access everything related to Vincy Mas. We will also be able to conduct polls via this website. And very shortly, the website will be linked right back to our Facebook page. So those, ladies and gentlemen, are 3 of the initiatives that we've taken this year, that we've invited you here to witness, and we hope you enjoy some of what CDC is doing this year. In terms of the program, there's not very much different to say other than we said in our press conference recently. Of course, the big buzz is that Miss SVG is no longer part of the Vincy Mas Carnival program and has been moved to Independence, where Miss SVG will now be Miss St. Vincent and the Grenadines, selected during a period of heightened national pride and focus on our national culture. A little bit on collaborations. I would just like to say that, notwithstanding we haven't featured them here, we have not forgotten the contribution of our rural carnival teams, our private promoters, and our subcommittees. And I just want to say, Siobhan, I took on board your call this evening, and definitely next year we will have presentations from someone representing the private promoters who also make a significant contribution to Vincy Mas. I would like to thank the media who made every effort to be here this evening, And we hope that you continue to spread the good things about Vincimas and only half of the bad things. We would like to recognize the contribution of our valued sponsors, without whom this would not be possible. And in anticipation of our signing on the dotted lines, I would like to thank the following platinum sponsors: Flow, Hyrule, Liat, Star FM, SVG Broadcasting Corp, VC3, WeFM, NBC Radio, SVG Tourism Authority, and of course our premium partner, the National Lotteries Authority. As usual, we will be reaching out to other persons to join the team this year. I would be like an ostrich with my head in the sand if I did not speak a little bit about this topic that's on everybody's lips right now. Unfortunately, I believe that I'm an expert in almost everything. Fortunately, nobody else believes that. But the one thing that I know is that I am not an expert in health. And so when it comes to the question of the coronavirus and Vincimas, we have taken the decision that we will be guided by the health professionals, we will be guided by national policy, and as such, we are continuing to prepare for Vincimas as though it will happen when it is scheduled to happen until advised otherwise. My good friend Jeremiah Howard would be very upset if I left the stage without reinforcing the fact that there is life after Vincimas. And as always, we appeal to everyone: have fun, respect yourself, have an absolutely wonderful time. There are very few of you who could have more fun than I can on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. But at the end of it, let's ensure that we can walk down the streets with our heads held high on the Wednesday after Vincimas. In closing, I would again like to appeal to all Vincentians, all of our stakeholders, all of the lovers of Vincimas, to work with us to ensure that we have a fantastic and safe Vincimas 2020 and continue to make Vincimas the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Up and up and up. Vincimas. Thank you.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Vincimas, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, is here again. Speaker of the OECS House of Assembly, former Minister of Culture, Honorable René Batiste, Chairman of the Carnival Development Committee, and other members of the committee, stakeholders and components of Carnival, well-wishers of the festival, Vincentians and other nationalities following this program live overseas, members of the media. This evening signals our preparation and readiness for Vincimas 2020. And you just heard from the various components: Calypso and Soca, Mass and Pan. And you just heard from the chairman of the CDC. And I'm sure that after those presentations, we would all conclude that Vincimas is refreshing itself, modernizing itself, with greater appeal not only for the mature persons of our society, but also for the young persons and persons with an interest in the latter years in Vincimas. This evening, the focus is to get the media to join with us as they do each year in assisting in taking this product, Vincimas, to the wider world. But this process did not just start this evening. It started months ago when the CDC, as it does each year, concludes the carnival of the previous year
and goes right into preparation for Carnival the following year. And you've heard from the chairman and the other components some of the things that they have been doing in preparation for Vinci Mars 2020. I would just like to highlight a number of things that also comes into play in preparation for Vinci Mars each year. The involvement of all of the components is very, very important, because the CDC cannot proceed and not have the components alongside them. And therefore, that process involved discussion with the components to ensure that they were all on the same page going forward, and that was concluded. The office and the operational aspects of the CDC has been enhanced, and we now have an individual on board that is assisting in the marketing aspects and the day-to-day operation of the CDC. And I want to ask you to put your hands together for Ezzy Roberts, the new addition to the staff of the CDC. The CDC takes care of millions of dollars each year. And it is important that they are accountable and that there is transparency in the CDC. And they have also taken on an individual to assist in that regard. And I want to also ask you to put your hands together for Mr. James Gibson, who is now the accountant at the CDC. We cannot have Vinci Mars, which is a national festival, without the involvement of the public. And each year, the CDC comes to the public, indicates what would have transpired the year preceding, and also get feedback from the public how they can do things better and how they can improve on the delivery of the Vinci Mars product. You just heard from the chairman the importance of attracting new sponsors each year. Because without sponsors and growing sponsors, we cannot grow the festival itself. It's important that we promote the festival more. And the Tourism Authority, in addition to the ministry and the CDC itself, we have been enhancing and intensifying the marketing of Vinci Mars when we go into the region and when we go beyond with our road shows, etc. And I'm sure we all saw the CDC, the wonderful work that they did in Trinidad and Tobago, which is one of our major source markets in the region for persons coming to the destination. So the marketing and promotion of Vinci Mars and our other festivals will continue to be pivotal in getting persons to the destination. And speaking about getting persons to the destination, I'm sure we would agree that over the last 3 years, we continue to see improvements in our arrival numbers, returning Vincentians and visitors to the destination, and we'll continue to work hard in that regard. This year, we hope that we'll be able to announce additional flights from new cities. Thus far, we have 3 international cities that we have direct flights coming from, and we hope to add more flights so we could continue to grow those numbers. The transparency and accountability aspect I cannot overemphasize. And each year, the CDC pays particular attention to bringing in the auditors to look at their figures, the statistics, and those reports are tabulated and presented to the cabinet and to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines so that they can identify and appreciate the ongoing development of the festival. We also, as a CDC and a ministry and as a government, continue to promote our artists, our artisans each year. And you just heard from the CDC and the other components the success stories of those persons who participate on Vinci Mass, and we continue to support them as they go regionally and internationally, not only to continue to promote themselves, but to fly the flag of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And each year, as the festival is concluded, the CDC gets into gear in terms of promoting the festival for the next year. In all of those areas, we have realized quite a bit of success. We see greater numbers participating in all of the components. In Mass, you just heard that there will be 15 Mass bands participating this year. If you calculate those numbers, you will find that there will be over 1,000 masqueraders, closer to 2,000 maybe. In Pan, you have 20 or so steel orchestras. That would account for another 1,200 persons participating in Pan. And of course, in music, we have well over 100 musical artists, closer to 200 or over 200 participating in the musical aspect of the festival. And those numbers continue to grow each year. The product Vinci Mass is now exportable, has been for a number of years, but more so in recent years as our artists continue to pay more attention, greater attention to their product and ensuring that it can be sold regionally and beyond. And of course, you just saw the release of the new logo for Vinci Mass 2020 and beyond. And you heard of the improvements to the website and other aspects of promoting and selling the Vinci Mass product, including apps which the young people will utilize more than the mature persons. So the brand Vinci Mass is now well recognized regionally and internationally and would result in more persons being interested in, invested in, and coming to our festival. I must take time off here to pay compliments to the diaspora. Yes, we have the build-up of Vinci Mass by the rural carnivals. Yes, we have the build-up of Vinci Mass through the private promoters. And I also want to congratulate the private promoters for the wonderful job that they have been doing over the years. But persons in the diaspora, regionally and North America and the UK, they have various events that assist in bringing attention to what is going to happen in our festival. And particularly from the US, you have the Calypso tent that is held there, and the president of the Calypso Association made mention of it. The only country with a tent outside of capital, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that has been so for several years. And with that happening in the diaspora, we have Vincentians and also other nationalities being interested in Vinci Mass and coming to support our festival. The security aspect of our festival must also be highlighted, and we are known to have one of the safest carnivals anywhere in the region and world. And we also have commenced our preparation. The police sits on the CDC, and therefore you can expect this year that you will have a safe and secure carnival for 2020. We must also congratulate the Public Health Department, Ministry of Health. They have played a pivotal role in ensuring that after each event, the streets of Kingston are returned to their clean state, and after every activity, the venue is also returned to a pristine condition. And we compliment the Public Health Department for the work that has been done. The chairman mentioned and pointed to the fact that we have a challenge throughout the world. This government has shown itself to be a very responsible government over the 20 years of its existence. We have put the necessary protocols and procedures in place for welcoming persons by cruise, by yachts, and through our airports. For Vincimas 2020, we can expect that there will be announcements, continued announcements from the Ministry of Health, and you've heard them intensify those announcements going forward. What we can do as a people to keep ourselves safe and healthy, what we can do in terms of preventing the COVID-19 coming to our shores, and in the event that it comes to our shores, what we are ready to put in place to deal with those issues. So you would hear from the Ministry of Health and of course from the Cabinet and the government what the developments are as it relates to COVID-19. But as it is now, we are continuing our preparation for all of our festivals, because next month we have Easterval and Easter Regatta, followed by Carnival. So therefore, we are proceeding in terms of preparation for those festivals. I also want to point to the fact of the economic benefits of Vincimas to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, from employment to the business sector to persons involved in Vincimas itself. And I know that for the last 2 years we've been saying it is important that for us to do an economic impact assessment of the returns and benefits to Vincimas to the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that is something that we'd also want to continue to do. I want to also mention that next month we will more than likely open the doors of our Arts and Craft and Development Center. That's a building at Montrose, and that is going to offer the opportunities to CDC and all of our festivals and our art and the craft persons to develop in those various aspects. So there will be an art gallery, there will be a craft aspect of display, and there will be development. So if we put all of these realities together, and if you conclude from what you've heard this evening, I think we can all agree that the musicians, they are ready with the music to be released. Pan has been hard at practice, and they will be absolutely ready at the junior and at the senior levels. The masked men and women have been hard at work in the camps, and we can expect to have the usual brilliant display of costumes, sections, individuals this year on stage and across the streets of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In essence, we are absolutely ready for a splendid, magnificent Vincimas 2020. We have a particular ad that we want to release and launch this evening. And that will be a generic ad that can be used every day, every hour, every minute by the print and electronic media. All of us can share it on our handsets and in our promotion. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you to turn your eyes to the big screen as I now commence the launch of the generic Vincimas.
It's the carnival you're looking for. It's fun, colors. We offer choices for all. Come enjoy the fun with Pam, Mass, Calypso, and Hot Soca Vibe. We go party normal. We are Vincimas, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. June 26th to July 7th. It's up and up and up. We're going. Mass 2020. We're moving up and up and up. It's the carnival you're looking for. It's fun, colors. We offer choices for all. Come enjoy the fun with Pam, Mass, Calypso, and Hot Soca Vibe. We go party normal. We are Vincy Mass, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. June 26th to July 7th. It's up and up and up. We're going.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for Vincy Mass 2020. We are moving the festival up and up and up. And I want to ask you to put your hands together for all the components, the CDC, everyone who made us ready for 2020. Thank you very much. Enjoy Vincy Mass 2020.
To turn your attention to the big screen as we introduce to you Evo 2020.
dong, it's my road march song. Ding dong, Lord, this music sweet on pan. Now ding dong, hear it on the radio stations. Tell the toiler and mighty hawk, I will be the king of road march. Ding dong, yeah, it's my road march song. Now ding dong, Lord, this music sweet on pan. If you know it, sing it. Now ding dong, hear it on the radio stations. Tell the toiler and mighty hawk, I will be the king of road march.
Something is going on. My heart, you are friend to fight. Desire
2020. Oh, I love you so. If music was the food of life, then surely I will never be satisfied. Like the air I breathe, flowing through my veins. Music hit me hard, yet I feel no pain. Cause I love the way this music makes me feel. And I love the way you making me so real. And when music takes me over, my addiction can't be cured. When I hear the sound of soca, I want it more and more. So addicted to this vibes, it's like a therapy. And the sound of soca music just got a hold of me. Music is my addiction. I just cannot let it go. No, no, no. Soca is my addiction. I just want it more and more. Listen. So if you see me in the party behaving bad, jumping, waving like if I'm mad. When soca music take over me, I just act like I'm a junkie. It's the soca music that have me so. People thinking that I'm loco. Look, they call the doctor again. They take fireman surely insane by addiction. Hey, Mr. Mars 2020. My addiction. Hey, music is my addiction. Hey, no, no, no. Soca is my addiction.
Vinci Massive. Huh. Yeah, man. Right back. In there. What? So much woman in the place and hungry, hungry for action. From the north, south, east, and west, they coming to jam. Everybody in the place and the minds not down for a good time. Meeting, greeting, jumping, sharing one love. Some of them even sitting around this time, displaying their sexy body and looking so fine. Come to see them dance, come to see them shake, to see boom boom roll. It's out of this world. I can't wait for festival time again, just to get behind them, jam them. Man, forget about all the sorrows and pain, just to get behind them, jam them. So give me room and come in and I come to play. I just want to get behind them, jam them. A big boom city jammers to make my day. I just want to get behind them, jam them. Hey, jam them, jam them, jam them, jam them. Get behind them, jam them, jam them, jam them, jam them, jam them. Get behind them, jam them.
Hottest mass. Say, teaser. 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 What kind of mass, right? You come inside the people's head. We dance all night until we wet. Say, but when I ask you for your number, have a negative. Everybody sing, everybody. For you ain't nothing but a teaser. A dirty, dirty teaser. Say that love the way you dance the soca. What? But you ain't nothing but a teaser. Ready? I say ready teaser. Say soca teaser. But you're doing it too easy.
night, good night. How you feeling? Shut it up, shut it, shut it up, shut it. So the girl have do it real easy. Simple, believe me. Shut it, shut it, shut it, shut it, shut it, shut it, shut it. So the girl have do it real easy. Waist and spell like CD. Get the effective fashion. Bump and soap and the action. Look boy go and just take a wine and make me pick the production. They ask them up in the air. Lick a dog in the system. So me a kill them. So me a lick them. You want to know how we do it? You will tell them how we do it. You want to know how we do it? You will tell them how we do it.
And the dancers song it. Out the road we are look now. James Pigan. Say we dey on the proud now. So we must try and look for the get. Tonight I dey on the hunting. All over town I am searching. Somehow I must take home something. Somehow I must make I'm looking some looking tonight. I want me some looking tonight. Come get me some looking tonight. I need me some looking tonight. I want me some looking. I'm fat sexy looking. I'm looking. One way for that. I'm looking. I'm looking. And I don't care what it costs me. I'm looking some looking tonight. Come get me some bouquet tonight. I want me some bouquet tonight. Check. Hey, when I step inside of it, just give me a sunset. Rum the best spirit, nothing can compare to it. Rum makes me to life, and it makes me feel alive. I'm not telling you tonight, I can think all the young things tonight. When I run in on me head, that is when I mash up it. Smiling out until and I never out the breath. When I run in on me head, that is when I mash up it. So when you see me drinking up, cause I'm alright. I'm drinking me rum, until I fall up. Cause I'm alright. I love feeling heat. Strong on me so sweet. Just give me another one, girl. And give me a hot one, girl. And give me a one, girl. 1 degrees. What I really love about rum, he gets me the sweetest drunk. I don't order too much rums before I meet this one. I don't care what people say. I drink your rum every day. Rum is always on my bread, and they call it on me name. When I run in on me head, that is when I'm back. While they don't kill a girl, and I never out of bread. When I run in on me head, that is when I'm mash up bed. So when they see me drinking, tell me nothing, cause I'm a I'm drinking me rum, until I fall off, cause I'm a I don't feel the heat. Sugar me so sweet. Just give me another bottle. And make me a hot bottle. And make me a bad bottle. Want some mini? No song I'm not. Good night. If you're ready for 50 miles, put your hand in the air right now. From the beat by the end, we party. We don't talk to party. It's beautiful. Whoa, and it's Hong Kong party. Oh, it's a Hong Kong vibe. And it's Hong Kong party. Oh, it's a Hong Kong. Listen, it's the same canal, same picking girl, same on the wheel, same is the
misbehave, and it's uptown party. I was a downtown vibe, and we go so dead. Nobody now. It's not normal, and no behavior. Informal, plenty girl, private and rental. Right to program, and everybody party dance floor and rock and come in. Get with the program. Right now we spend the most. Come reach by the gate, we party. We don't start to party. It's pure canal, boy. Uptown party. How it a dump. Oh Lord, and it's uptown party. How it a dump. Is this same canal, same pretty girl, same on the wheel, same misbehave, and it's uptown party. How it a dump. And we shouting dan dan, dan dan. And we say 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 dan dan. Listen, boy, nobody now the pan number 5. Everybody holding a good vibe. Energy up, come outside, take inside. What's the one ya? Pan your timeline. Plenty drinks for the bar and one session of the car and from the club. From the rich by the gate. We party, we don't start the party. It's pure canal, boy. Uptown party. How it a dump. Oh Lord, and it's uptown party. How is that don't come? Hey, is this same canal, same pretty, same manner, same misbehave? I want everybody dance. 1, 2, and we shouting dan dan. And we say 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 dan dan. From the rich by the gate.
We paying tribute to Razam Shalom. Make some noise, people. When you Razam fans, woo! Show me a dance, show me a dance. Let me go now. Ivan. Greatest dream. This popular be coming from the basement when I move my feet. When till he coming from the island. Hear this sound. Creating such a sweet sensation. No charm is a jam without that around. Bad vibration just when you shake up the stone. The melody is sweet like milk and honey. Boom boom sweet. The way they play them notes just even drive me crazy. Boom boom sweet. Make me lose respect when we start again. Make you such a place like a fool. Whenever that happens, you take it cool. It's like an indication that the pop-up rule, the pop-up rule, the pop-up rule, the pop-up rule, the pop-up rule. Feeling ping ping.
Because we have God. 1, 2, oh boy, this one's sweet. 21 years ago, Prime Minister first ever Soca Monarch. This is number 1, Soca Monarch. 1, everybody sing with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. In my village, I'm a good helper. I'm helping people. My papa dinner. My good friend Desi, she said and called me. She a good firewood, so she want me to help she. But she want me to push up the wood under the pot, push up the wood under the pot, push up the wood under the pot, wood under the pot. Oh, if you can't push the wood, you will get burned. If you can't push the wood, you will get burned. If you can't push the wood in the way that you should, if you can't push the wood, you will get burned. She don't want no small wood under she pan. She don't want no small wood under she pan. She want the big wood to keep she fat. She don't want no small wood under the pan. That's why we go push up the wood. Push up the wood. Christmas 2020, hey, I love you. I love you. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're ready for Vintimas 2020, we up. Hold my tongue, nobody can hold me. Remember it's carnival and revel in the street of it. Look at us. We ready. Huh. From night till morning, we not even but we head bad. Oh Lord, we head bad. We strong from party. We taking a box for this one. Everybody jump on this spot, jump on this spot. Everybody wave on this spot, Let me take a jump on this spot, Let me take a on this spot, Are you ready for Vintimas? Are you ready for Vintimas? The hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Let's go. 1, take a wine. 2, take a 1, 2. Everybody let me say 18. Hey, watch how the girl impression clean. Keep up a big line and let me choose. Let's go. Every dance. Let's go. Let's go take money run. Let's go take money truck. Let's go take for somebody. Man, just give them the lucky. Let's go. Let's go take money run. Let's go take money. Let's pull on it. Give me a wine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go take. Everybody, get wine and look back, and then you jump back. Take a 6:30, take a stick and say, get wine and look back, and then you say, take a 6. I say, let go. Everybody, go. We don't care. Back up here and let go. Everything is not easy and worthless. Say every girl start to wine and let go. Oh, yes, just. Oh, God, just. Oh, yes, just. So, be careful, Dan. Get us someone just like woman in the Bible. And when you feel like you're whining on a woman, say, look on me, whining up on top of it's under pollution. So let me talk to them. Hold on for somebody can start to walk them. Sexy. And them. Only. Push up all you. What? Say every woman in the band just. Oh God, just. Oh yeah, just. Somebody make some noise, please. Vintimas. I like to call all my entertainer brothers and sisters on stage. Yeah? We have a surprise guest in the audience. Somebody make some noise for James EP! Yes! Well, on him, how to be a look now? James EP on the name now. We say it on the proud now. Let me go now. Tonight I dey party hunting. Oh Lord, oh, all over town I am searching. Oh Lord, oh, somehow I must take home something. Oh Lord, everybody, put your hand in the air now. I look it's out the whoa. Oh Lord, what's it? I want me some. Say, I look it's out. What's it? I want me some. Check, I look it's out. What's it? Just a little. Hey, say, I look it's out. What's it? Good. Girl, your hands on them tempting. Say, what all the waist and tantalizing. Look how the green suit is jumping. Oh God. Everybody, we have some. I want me some. I look it's out. What's it? I look it's out. What's it? No lucky brothers. Well, look at us. So we look for you, look and we tell them. Jeff, if you want to look tonight, I'll do you look tonight. Some girl get drunk tonight, so we hook them up like a dime. Cause when you hook them up, you shook them up, you give it up, they listen it up. I'm gonna look them up, and I want them up. Oh, you can tell me, you hook them up. Hey, I look it's up to see tonight. Say, okay, tonight. Low. Boy. Good night, St. Vincent. You surprised me? I'm going to tell you. Good night, St. Vincent. Good night to the world. I just come off a plane. Just come off a plane? Yeah. Right. You look so. And this look like plain clothes. And I look nice. And plain clothes. Foreign clothes, eh? My head hurting me. Yeah? I have the biggest headache. Yeah, the biggest headache? Why? I'm not sure, but I hope it's not one of them symptoms. Yeah? Yeah, this is 2020. Watch out the ladies, them plenty. This year everybody coming Vinci. Vinci Mars, if you're inside the place, just put up your hand. How this up looking tonight? Look is up. Look is all looking tonight. Log it. Yeah. I just landed off an aeroplane. And I've been hearing about this coronavirus. They say one of the symptoms is a headache. But I'm really sure that it don't give me a headache. Pull up! Pull up! I want to call all my entertainers on stage. Julie, Hans, Fireman Hooper, Chanel Mackenzie. Can you join us on stage, please? Can you join us on stage, please? Big up. I don't know the kinetic man or the festival man. What's a festival? Festival man? Festival man. Big up Army, big up Andrew. David respect, homie. Every time. My brother. Now, look. Man. I want to tell you that this year, 2020, as I was reasoning with Fireman backstage, is that all year we live in good and everybody hailing one another in the streets. And from the time Carnival launch, it's like a war in a bacchanal. Fans fighting against fans over artists and artists fighting against artists. I wish it may never happen, but the 2020, that we all celebrate this festival in unity. Let us push our music, push our people, push our culture. Forget about the war. Forget about the Facebook bantering. And I want everybody to join with us in the audience, the media house. Can I see your hands in the air, please? If you're ready to support Vinci Mars and all the artists of 2020. Thank you very much. Come on. Yeah. You want to say something, Fireman wants to say something? Do anyone see any reason why these two shouldn't come together? Are you making a proposal? Are you proposing? Postpone. We postpone it. So come on at night. And before I leave, we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Yeah, of course. We're gonna talk about tomorrow. Of course, that's the reason why I'm here. Yeah. Plus other things. So we are definitely, because this is a serious issue. Yeah. Tomorrow, I want each and every one of you to come out in your numbers and support WAVE, because we as a people, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are marching against crime and violence of all kinds, shapes. All right? So come out tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we're gathering at Peace Memorial Hall, and we're marching down the whole of Kingston. I'll be back up for a grand rally. Luther will be there, Chanel will be there, Dynamite will be there, Hans will be there, Fireman will be there, I'll be there, Rodney will be there, the whole team will be there. Skin will be there as well. Management, bless up. So give thanks, appreciate, love you. That's it.
Thank you very much. We love
Thank
you.
Strange behavior. Crazy people. Powder and flour in the air. Mess it up, dirty up. Oh yeah. One set of crazy people jumping up in the band. All kind of different thing they have in their hand. They jumping up and down, they don't give a damn. Carrying on like them is some hooligan. We gon' mash up everything like we have insurance. And tear down everything like we have insurance. We gon' shell down everything like